Hello everybody and welcome back to another video that I have not put in a very long time. It's been a while.
You also need a haircut.
Yeah, I know, I do. I really do. But yeah guys, welcome back to another video, and from now on I want to try to put a video at least once, like one video every 2 weeks. Maybe I'll even try to do weekly, but I'll try to do at least one video every 2 weeks and something like that. And in today's video I'm really excited to give because this types of videos where like there's like science in the Bible, there's like scientific facts in the Bible, or like that science or that Bible proves that science is wrong or right or something like that. That kind of study just really like excites me and I really like that. And so this video I'm going to give 8 scientific facts that are in the Bible. So let's jump right into it. Number 1. 1,600 years ago, doctors thought that bloodletting, which if you had a disease they would let out blood, and it was called bloodletting, would cure diseases. And there's been some debates whether bloodletting was what killed George Washington or the illness that he had. But George Washington, he became very ill at night, and you know, he I think it was a very, very severe sore throat. I forgot what the sickness that he had was called, but he had that. And doctors came and they bloodlet him. And if it wasn't the disease that killed him, then, you know, it was probably the bloodletting, because the bloodletting did not help at all, because Leviticus 17:11 says that the life of the flesh is in the blood. So, you know, if they would have read Leviticus 17:11, maybe George Washington could have lived a couple more years. Number 2. Another scientific fact that's in the Bible and that proves the Bible's scientific accuracy. In Columbus's time, which was in the 1600s, people thought that the earth was flat. But Isaiah chapter 40 verse 22, which was written 700 years before Christ, which is 2,700 years ago, says, He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth. So in the book of Isaiah, it says the circle of the earth, and just 400 years ago, people thought that the earth was flat. But 2,700 years ago, Isaiah the prophet, whom God was speaking through, said the circle, that he, referring to God, is sitting above the circle of the earth. Number 3. Another scientific fact that's in the Bible and that also proves the Bible's scientific accuracy. 1,500 years before Christ, people thought that the earth sat on a large animal or like a giant or something. But Job chapter 26 verse 7 says, He spreads out the northern skies over empty space. He suspends the earth over nothing. And Job is considered one of the oldest Bible writers. And man didn't discover this, that the earth was just floating in there, until 1650. Number 4. A man by the name of Matthew Maury, who is considered the father of modern oceanography, was reading through Psalm 8:8, and he noted, which says, The birds in the sky and the fish in the sea, all that swim the paths of the seas. And he noticed the words, the paths of the seas. And this man lives in the 1800s. And this psalm was written by David, so you know, you get kind of the time difference right there. And so he noticed the words, the paths of the seas. And so he trusted God in his word, and he said to himself, well, if God says that there's paths of the seas, well, I'm going to go find them. And thanks to him, he found the warm and cold continental ocean currents. His books on oceanographies and all his texts we still use them today and in universities. Number 5. Number 5 is found in Genesis chapter 2 verse 1, which says, Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. Or as King James Version says, instead of completed, finished. Which means that everything was finished. The sky, the sun, the planets, outer space, the trees, the rivers that are filled with sea creatures that are flowing into our oceans and filling our oceans is finished. Our bodies were finished. The land with every single animal on it and every plant on it was finished. Everything was finished. There wasn't a half-evolved fish or a half-evolved human, or there was a half-evolved animal or half-evolved eyeball. Everything was finished. Number 6. Oh, I forgot my microphone. There we go. Number 6. Yes, I'm in the bathtub, but it's okay. The Bible in the book of Leviticus, when God is talking to the Hebrew nation, talks about quarantine and its importance long before man discovered the importance of quarantine. In Europe, there was a thing called the Black Death in the 1400s that killed over 17 million people, and that happened. One of the reasons why so many lives were taken was because they failed to separate the sick people from the healthy people. And a Bible verse that in Leviticus, in the book of Leviticus, that gives an example of quarantine is Leviticus chapter 13 verse 46, which says, as long as they have the disease, they remain unclean. They must live alone. They must live outside of the camp. They must live away from the people, from the healthy people, so that the healthy people won't get sick. I'm teleporting all over the house. Number 7. In 1845, there was a doctor by the name of Dr. Agnes Semmelweis. And he and some other doctors were just horrified by the death rate of women after going through childbirth. About 30% of them, after giving through childbirth, died. And I mean, they were horrified by this. So Semmelweis noted the doctors to observe the bodies, and then without washing their hands would go to do whatever. So Semmelweis suggested, let's wash our hands. So they washed their hands, and the death rate dropped from 30% to 2%. But the problem was that when they were washing their hands, they would wash their hands in a bowl of water. So when they washed their hands, all those microscopic diseases and germs and all that stuff and would just stay in the bowl, and they would wash their hands, in the bowl. And then it wasn't until recent times that we started actually washing and bathing and cleaning under running water. And in Leviticus, when God's talking to the Hebrew nation, he tells them to clean and wash under running water. And it wasn't like in the book of Leviticus, which again was written 3,400 years ago. I mean, God's telling them to wash under running water, and it wasn't until recent times that we just started washing under running water also. And the 8th one, last but definitely not least, number 8, like I said. In Job chapter 40, when God's talking to Job, he seems to be... Can you hear me? Sounds kind of different outside. Anyways, God is talking to Job in Job chapter 40, and he seems to be talking to Job about a dinosaur. And in Job chapter 40 verses 15 through 24, it gives the description of this dinosaur that the Lord calls the Behemoth. And this creature is the biggest of all the creatures that God has created. And some people who study this think that it could have been the elephant or the hippopotamus, but I doubt it, I really doubt it, because one of the descriptions that it gives is that its tail is as long as a cedar tree. And by looking at this picture, that's not a cedar tree. That's not any tree. But yeah, I mean, God's talking to Job about a dinosaur called the Behemoth. And also somewhere else in Job, God's talking about somewhere else in Job, God's talking about another dinosaur. But today we just talked about the Behemoth. And that is all I have for today, guys. But of course, just those 8 things are not the only scientific things that are in the Bible. There's a bunch more to be discovered, and stuff that I don't even know yet, and I mean stuff that man hasn't even figured out, and probably man will never figure out the entire Bible. As long as we're in this fleshly human body, we're not going to. But hopefully God keeps allowing man to discover more truths that are in the Bible about science and history and all that good stuff. But today, that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys have any other scientific facts that I didn't know about, I would love to hear them, so go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. And if I forgot any notes or something, I'll leave them down in the description below, so go ahead and check down there. And make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. As well, in the last video I said that I was going to continue in the One I Serve series thing, but so I'm not even going to say that because I don't know if I will, but I'm going to either in the next video or the video after that. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, go share and show the word. By the way, you guys know the song How He Loves by David Crowder? You guys know that one? You guys ever wonder who's Howie?